So, here I am, at last. I have been waiting a very long time for this. Just waiting, mind you, not tarrying or lingering, not biding my time, not just sticking around. No, I have been waiting, anticipating, watching, expecting. I have been expecting. Expecting what? You might ask. Well, to tell you the truth, I have been so busy waiting for it for such a long time that I've kind of forgotten what it was I was expecting to find once whatever it is I was waiting for actually arrived. This, I guess, just this. All right. Yeah. Well, you know, one thing that you should know about me, by the way, is that I'm not very good at this. This waiting thing, this endless waiting thing. No, I am not good at it at all. Waiting, sitting tight, holding on, being bloody still. No, patience is not one of my virtues. I do not like the not knowingness of it. I do not like it one bit. How it binds me in place, the passivity of it, and that feeling of being constrained. You know, the walls closing in. No, I do not like this one little bit. My father once told me that I was the most impatient person he'd ever met. You, my friend, have absolutely no patience, he told me. I think you're the most impatient person I have ever met. Ever met, for God's sake. I mean, in his life, for God's sake. I mean, what a thing to say to somebody. I mean, it's been stuck in my brain ever since, to the point that I don't even know what the hell impatience even is anymore. I mean, what is it? Greed, lust, some kind of thirst. Huh. To a thirsty man, the need for water is nothing to be trifled with. He needs fluids and he needs them fast, whatever he's thirsty for, whether it's water or something else. He needs it now. No waiting allowed. I need it now. I'm goddamn thirsty, damn it. I need this. But, well, the wait is over. Remember? So, here I am, right now, in this. So let's all have a drink on that, huh? On me. Now, when my father told me this about my so-called impatience, it kind of freaked me out at first, but you know, after a while, the more I thought about it, the more I began to wonder whether what he was perceiving as my impatience was really just me being very, very busy. I mean, I love to be busy. I do. I always feel like there's some place I have to go, or something I'm supposed to be doing, or some project amongst the multiple projects that I am always involved in that needs my immediate attention. And I hate being late. I can't be late. So I am always on the go, trying to get to where it is I'm trying to get to on time. Which doesn't leave me a whole lot of extra time to pay attention to what anybody else might be involved in that they want me to pay attention to. Or need me to pay attention to. This thing this thing my father said, that I was the most impatient person he'd ever met, for God's sake. Well, this was not a trivial matter to me. No simple nuisance or quirky passing observation. No, it hit me hard. It hit me very hard. You see, the point is that my father almost never had an insulting or critical word to say to or about anybody. He was the quintessential nice guy, to a fault. I mean, he was the kind of guy that would memorize all the name tags of whatever employees were in whatever restaurant or store or market he happened to be in, and he always made a point of calling those employees by their names, making sure they felt seen. It used to drive my poor introverted mother crazy. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Thank you very much. Oh, Joey, how the hell are you? Good to see ya, my guy. Mario. Oh, Mario, hey, come over here. Would you help my wife out with these packages? You're the man, Mario. You are the man. Sandy, how long have you been working in this store anyway, huh? Huh? Seems like forever, doesn't it? Dennis, how are you? Oh, love your cat, man. Go, Yankees, go. Yabba dabba doo, yabba dabba doo. And on and on and on. I mean, no matter what crisis was unfolding on the news or in our little family unit, my dad always tried to show the world a brave and happy face, to a fault. I remember one time, he met me at the Oakland airport. They were living in Fremont then, and I was just flying in from Colorado, where I was acting in a repertory theater in the Rocky Mountains. And the reason that I was coming home this particular time was because, tragically, my little sister had just passed away. Patricia had been suffering from a lifelong terminal illness, cystic fibrosis, septic fibrosis. So anyway, my dad is right there as I'm getting off the plane, and I go up and I give him a big bear hug, as we do, and I ask him gravely, "How you doing?" "I'm great," he says. More out of habit, I think, than anything else, but still, it pissed me off. "I'm great." "No, you're fucking not!" I wanted to say, "How could you be?" Now, I think I managed to hold my tongue this one time for a change, but still, this was a moment where I really got to see just how impenetrable that facade of his actually was, that sweet demeanor of his, that, "Oh, I'm great," and everything swelled. Now, it's not like I didn't ever see his broken bits before. I mean, I'd seen his darker side. He definitely had a darker side. His somber, angry, frustrated, lost little boy side that really only surfaced when he was dealing with my long-suffering, not easy to please mother. Oh my God. Those two. Oh, what can I say? They were polar opposites, yet absolutely made for each other, both at the same time. And their fights, my God, the fights were epic battles, legion, grand tsunamis of rage and chaos, especially very early on when I was very young and I would be hiding in my room, cowering under my covers with a pillow over my head to block out all the yelling and screaming coming from the kitchen down the hall. The noise was insufferable. Not that they ever hit each other. No, not that I ever saw. But there was still plenty of violence in that house. Flying plate violence. Mighty dish storm violence. You, God damn son of a bitch, my mother would scream, heaving forth whatever dish she could get her hands on, which would smash explosively against the wall just behind my father, who was gearing up to return the fire. I mean, No plate was spared in these dish storms. No mug or cup or drinking glass was safe. Everything was ammunition. Dinner plates, salad plates, bread and butter plates, dessert plates, even appetizer plates, which we only ever brought out for company, which we hardly, if ever, almost never actually had. I really thought they were going to kill each other someday, and they very well might have. And they certainly would not have stayed together for the rest of their lives like they did if it hadn't been for the kids, the sick kids, the very, very sick kids. Cystic fibrosis had everyone by the balls at our house, whether you had the disease inside you or not. Now, I did not, obviously, which kind of explains why I'm still here at this ripe old age doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. These grand parental battles, they didn't happen every night. In fact, they were pretty rare. But there were other more persistent sounds in the house that were sometimes, well, even more disturbing. Nighttime was the worst. See, my sister's bedroom was just down the hall from mine. And in that room, Patricia would be struggling terribly some nights, most nights, propped up on a home hospital bed inside a poisonous mist tent that gurgled and hissed and squealed like a room full of angry cats. Now inside that plastic dripping nightmare enclosure, Patricia would be coughing up thick portions of lung fluid. And these were brutal, gut-wrenching coughs that went on and on and on and made me wonder how she ever got any sleep when she was like this, which was most of the time. Now that thick phlegm that she had inside her, this is what makes cystic fibrosis such a nasty, deadly disease, because the body has no check on the amount of mucus it is producing. And so it builds up and expands and collects in the lungs and in other organs, particularly the pancreas, creating rich, steamy homes for all kinds of vile infections. Now, my brother's bedroom was just across the hall from mine, and in that room, in his body, those viral infections would manifest as severe stomach digestive trauma, which gave him horrible, horrible belly aches. His moans and groans and sobs, punctuated by his own jagged, violent coughing jags, would just go on and on and on. I mean, between the two of them, it was like living in the middle of an intensive care unit of a very busy hospital, which made sleep for me practically impossible. I used to pray for some calm to settle in the house, for some silence to descend. I even asked God, or whatever, to take the pain out of them and put it in me. Just to give them a fucking break, just for a while. But to tell you the truth, I never thought of that. It just scared me to death. I mean, I couldn't even imagine what they must be going through. And I somehow felt ashamed of my own lack of disease. Now, every once in a while, all the noise would stop, and inexplicably, my whole body could just surrender. At last. But soon enough, it would all start up again, and all my shame and agitation would return. Now, my parents' bedroom was just across the hall from my sister's, and in that room, my mother would be having kind of the opposite reaction to me. She told me this years later that whenever all the sounds of sickness stopped in the house and silence descended, she would be overcome with immense dread and panic. Oh, Jesus, who died? No, not now. By God, you son of a bitch, don't do this to me. Not now. Not again. You see, she'd already lost one infant child to this fucking disease. Sweet Kathy. I think losing one more at that point would have broken her into a million jagged little pieces. Now, my way of dealing with all of this in my room was constant masturbation. Marathon pillow humping. This is something I discovered at a very young age, and it is the only thing that I could find that would block out all the pain and suffering going on around me and inside me. Now, my brother, Butch, he dealt with his pain in kind of a similar manner, though on a much grander scale. See, Butch, or Bob, as the rest of the world knew him, he was a lot of things, many, many, many things. He was an artist, and he was a puppeteer, and he was a singer, and he was a songwriter, and he was a teacher, and a writer, and a comedian, and sometimes, a lot of times, in fact, he was a total pain in the ass. And he was a poet, and he was an infamous heterosexual masochist. He dealt with his pain by sexualizing it. Yeah, but unlike me, he didn't use sex and ritual and exhibitionism to tamp down on his pain. Oh no. He used sex to celebrate his pain, to goddamn revel in it. With very graphic, very public, very naked torture and humiliation, all at the hands of his partner and dominatrix, Madame Rose. He turned his disease into an art form. His pain was his medium. His brutalized body was his canvas. I mean, after a while, he started to gain quite a following as an X-rated avant-garde creator and performance artist. And he was a fabulous poet. At least that's what they told me way back when. I mean, I went to his readings before all the S&M stuff went public, and I read his books, and I was very proud of the respect and the admiration that he had in the LA poet scene. But I really didn't get poetry back then. I mean, it just didn't click with me. Not yet, anyway. It wasn't until years later when I began to act in various Shakespeare festivals that something shifted in my perception. The more I became immersed in that Elizabethan world, the more I grew to love those characters and the amazing wordplay of it all, the poetry. I mean, the grand dance of words and ideas all brought to life by rhythm and meter and glorious repetition. Now I could look back on my brother's poetry and really appreciate the uniqueness of his particular combinations of words. And within the musicality of his particular constellations of words, all his deeper feelings would emerge. His constant pain, his shame at his illness, and his defiance of it, and his conquest of it. It was all right there, in your face, and more. The rhythm and repetition of his words and ideas often formed long lyrical lists that went on and on and on. I love that. Those endless lists. Now, what makes a really great list are those that have a definitive beginning and middle and end. Like this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then finally, wait for it, this. Now, those rhythms and repetitions and words and ideas and massive thoughts erupting out of the blue and masterful lists, they are everywhere in Shakespeare's works, in the magical heartbeat of iambic pentameter. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, or better yet, this royal throne of kings, this sceptered isle, this earth of majesty, this seat of Mars, and on again until this happy breed of men, this little world, and on again until this blessed realm, this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this angel. What a joy it is to say those lists of words out loud. Now, when my brother, finally died, he had just turned 43 years old while he was still in the hospital, making him the oldest living cystic on the West Coast. A few days later, he was dead. The last thing that ever said to me, coming briefly awake after days of unconsciousness, was this, looking me right in the eye and pointing right at me. He said, "Don't go too far away." And then he went unconscious again. And that was it. I saw him go. Butchie boy. Butchie boy. He knew well my penchant for hiding under pillows and sexing my feelings away and all the various and sundry ways I had of hiding from my pain. He knew how hard it was for me to ever sit still for any length of time at my fucking ADHD. He knew how impatient I could be. I didn't go too far away. Oh, I went pretty far out there. Sometimes right to the brink of never coming back. But I always did come back, time and time again. And so, here I am. Good times and bum times, I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still here. Oh, Sondheim, another master of rhythm and rhyme and repetition. Plush velvet sometimes, sometimes just pretzels and beer. But I'm here, right now, in this, right where I always wanted to be. So take me off all your fucking waiting lists. The wait for me really is over. I'll drink to that.